Hello, young explorers, and welcome to this exciting explainer. Today, we're going to go on a really fantastic journey together to discover the amazing story behind our food. We'll be looking at the Indian agricultural landscape. Now, I know that sounds like a big, fancy textbook term, but really, it's just the wonderful, colorful story of how a tiny little seed in the ground turns into the delicious meals that give us all the energy to run, play, and learn every single day. And today, we aren't just looking at plants. We're going to learn all about the real magic of the soil beneath our feet, the fascinating ways our farmers work the land, and we'll even meet some special helpers in the agriculture department who make sure our entire country has enough to eat. I am so glad you're here to learn with me. Okay, let's dive right into this. I want you to close your eyes for just a second and picture your absolute favorite meal. Imagine it sitting right there in front of you on a big, shiny lunch thali. Maybe you see a mound of steaming, fluffy rice, a stack of warm rotis, or a bowl of super tasty yellow dal. Maybe some crunchy veggies on the side? You open your lunchbox every day and there it is. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where does all of that actually come from before it magically reaches your kitchen? Because before that rice or roti gets to you, it relies on some very important factors in nature. Things like the bright sun, the gentle rain, and the rich earth, all working perfectly together. To answer that big question, we're going to learn exactly how our food gets to us by looking at the basic building blocks of farming in India. Think of farming kind of like building a giant, incredible Lego castle. You can't just throw pieces together in the dark, right? You need the exact right pieces, the right instructions, and a lot of care to make something strong. These blocks include things like the climate, the specific type of soil you're planting in, and how much water is actually available. We call these the factors affecting agriculture. Our farmers are basically the master builders here, and today we get to look closely at the wonderful blocks they use to build our country's food supply. Now, the biggest, most important block of all is something called agriculture. So agriculture is the practice of farming, including growing crops to provide food. Simply put, agriculture is literally like a real-life magic trick. It is the incredible process of taking these tiny little seeds, burying them in the dirt, and letting those crucial factors affecting agriculture, like the warm temperature, the seasonal rainfall, and the soil's natural fertility, act as a magic wand to make those seeds sprout and grow. Without agriculture, our plates and our lunch thalis would be completely empty. But let's look a little closer at where this magic actually happens. Our first major building block is the foundation itself, the ground beneath our feet. Soil is actually the most crucial factor affecting agriculture, mostly because it acts like a cozy home for a plant's roots, giving it all the food, minerals, and water it needs to survive. Now, if you've ever traveled on a train or taken a really long car ride across India, you might have looked out the window and noticed that the dirt doesn't look exactly the same everywhere you go. Sometimes it's super sticky, sometimes it's dusty, sometimes it's really dark, and sometimes it's light. The earth completely changes depending on exactly where you are. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Across our vast and beautiful country, scientists officially count exactly 8 distinct types of soil. 8. But while there are 8 official categories, let's just focus on the 6 main ones you really need to know. First, there's alluvial soil, which is super fertile and mostly found near rivers, so it's perfect for growing lots of food. Second is black soil, which is sticky, holds water really well, and is absolutely perfect for growing cotton. Third, we have red soil, which gets its wonderful color from iron in the ground. Fourth is laterite soil, found in areas that get heavy, splashing rain. Fifth is desert soil, which is sandy, dry, and found in really hot places. And finally, the 6th one is mountain soil, found way up high in the tall, cool forests. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's a lot of different dirt, but why does having these different types of soil actually matter? Well, let's think about you and your friends for a second. Some of you might absolutely love playing cricket outside in the sun, right? While others might prefer sitting inside reading a quiet book. Just like you have different favorites, different plants have different favorite kinds of ground to grow up big and strong. For example, just like you might love cricket, cotton plants absolutely love black soil. But a tea plant, it prefers that high-up mountain soil. If you plant a seed in the wrong favorite soil, it just won't grow up strong. And because we have these incredibly unique soils, our clever farmers have to adapt. It's basically a balancing act. We have the 8 distinct types of soil on one side and the need for completely different farming methods on the other. Our hardworking farmers can't just plant everything the exact same way. If they did, a lot of crops wouldn't even survive. So they have to completely change their tools, how much water they give the plants, and their whole approach depending on whether they're standing on dry, sandy desert soil or sticky black soil.
And because they have to change their methods, guess what? There are 6 specific types of farming used in India. Yup, 6 main methods to bring our food to life. First up, there's wet farming, used where there's lots of heavy rain. Second is dry farming, for places where water is scarce and super precious. Third is intensive farming, where farmers work very, very hard on small patches of land to grow as much food as humanly possible. Fourth is horticulture, which is just a super fun word for growing delicious fruits, crunchy vegetables, and beautiful flowers. Fifth, we have subsistence farming, which just means a farmer is growing exactly enough food to feed their own family. And finally, the sixth is sustainable farming, which means farming in a gentle, careful way that protects the earth so it stays healthy forever.
So the crucial point here is this wonderful little equation: 8 soils plus 6 farming types equals our harvest. Think of this like the ultimate superhero team-up. When you combine the unique types of earth with the special ways of farming them, you basically unlock the secret recipe for growing almost any type of food in the world, all across our massive country. The soil and the farming method work completely hand in hand to make the magic happen. Let's actually celebrate the result of that amazing teamwork by looking at the major crops in India. These are the big, bountiful harvests that feed our entire nation. We're talking about the vast fields of golden wheat that get ground up to make your fluffy rotis. We have the bright, watery green paddies that give you your favorite rice dishes. Then there are pulses, which are the yummy protein-packed dals you eat for lunch. And get this, we even grow vast amounts of cotton, which actually grows into the very fabric that makes your school uniforms and your favorite t-shirts. Every single one of these major crops comes directly from the perfect pairing of those soils and farming types. So now we understand the magic of how things grow today. But, a good explorer always looks ahead. We're looking to the future. Farming isn't just about doing the exact same thing over and over again. It's about learning, growing, and making things better over time. But who helps the farmers learn and make things better? That is where a special team called the Agriculture Department comes in. They are kind of like super smart teachers and scientists dedicated to helping farmers, ensuring our country always grows enough food. Let's move to and see exactly how this builds step by step. Step 1 is understanding agriculture, really grasping that real-life magic trick. Step 2 is utilizing the soils and farming types. But these steps aren't done alone. It's a huge team effort. The Agriculture Department helps test the soils, kind of like a doctor checking a patient. And then they teach farmers which of the 6 farming methods will work absolutely best for that specific dirt. And when the farmers and the Agriculture Department work together perfectly on those first 2 steps, we arrive at step 3, achieving agricultural development. And why does that matter? Well, agricultural development ensures we keep growing major crops for everyone. This means the Agriculture Department provides farmers with even better seeds and teaches them the absolute best sustainable farming techniques. By using sustainable methods, they make sure the earth doesn't get tired or sick over time. It's all about growing our food smarter and safer, ensuring that there's always plenty of delicious, healthy food, not just for today, but for when all of you young explorers grow up and have families of your very own. My young explorers, we have learned so much today about the building blocks of our food. So I want to leave you with one final, really exciting question. Next time you sit down with your family to eat, I want you to look down at your lunch thali and ask yourself, which of the soils and farming types helped grow this amazing meal? Think about the bright sun and gentle rain, the specific soil it grew in, the hard work of the farmer, and the clever science from the Agriculture Department that brought it straight to your plate. I really hope this makes you look at every bite of rice and every piece of roti with pure wonder. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.